Hello, dear everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We are very honored to invite master teacher from Thailand, Raj, for sharing today's topic. It's about music and marathon. Because I know Raj teacher for very long time, and I know he's not only a master teacher of singing, he's basically running every day, which I can never do. So I really respect him in many ways. So I'm sure there's a lot of good things we can hear from Raj, which will benefit the whole world. So we will make this special journey with Raj about the music, about the marathon. Hope this webinar can help everyone open their another eye or another aspect of seeing the different part of the life in singing, in sports. Okay, so let's just move on. Thank you, Raj, for being here. So, as we all know, maybe music is very close to our mind, and at the same time, the body, unlike other instruments, especially singing, we know, since I think most of the audience for today is singers. Singing, this singing instrument is inside our body. Sometimes we just get lost. Okay, it's not so controllable. I lose my connections. I cannot feel my vocal cord. I feel horsey. And how should I control it? But still, Raj teacher will tell you it can be trained. Yeah, because he's a very professional vocal coach. Of course, everything can be trained. From a scientific background, I know human body is like made of muscle, neurons, all these nerves, blood. So it's the same, including singing. We are not like singing with a special, untouchable stuff. No, actually, we are still the same person as we are doing other daily life sports or behaviors. So it seems untouchable, uncontrollable, but after some training, you may change this concept because singing is a process involves, yeah, brain, body, today importantly about the mind, just like other behaviors. Today, especially, we are going to share more journey about the marathon. So I want to ask Master Teacher Raj, how do you feel the mind and body connections in both music and singing a marathon? Yeah, I would to hear your sharing. Thank you.
ก่อนอื่นก็ต้องขอ
First off,
ขอบคุณ
I would like to thank Dr. Yang for giving me such an opportunity to share my experience and knowledge about singing and marathon running. In reality, do I excel in running, but I use quite a significant amount of time in training. But to answer your question, how do I feel about the connection between the mind and the body? These two things interrelate and interconnect. But before we reach into that point, every single time, every single day, or even go to the past, there is a topic, many topics that pops up in my mind on every activity that I do. What am I thinking? And I'm going to share the screen for you to see.
อันนี้แหละฮะที่ผมคิดอยู่ตลอดเวลาว่า
This is I'm thinking all the time. These three words are called faith, belief, and determination. These three terms pop up in my mind. Second is about plan. Third is about taking action and eliminate laziness. Fourth is about the goals and challenges exiting the safe zone. There is about forgiveness and lesson learned and finding a solution. Consistently responsible. And finally, you must have consciousness. Consciousness is so important because it pops up in my mind. And when it comes back to the notion, this only pops up in mind. But as I run or or I sing, these terms come out. How being conscious of how am I feeling? What am I planning? What are the struggles in my life? Because there are so many things that pops up into your mind. But when it comes to mind and body, the connection, there are, how is it interrelated? How is it connected? It's about the connection between two things that are interrelationship. And there's sometimes that the mind and the body are enemies, and sometimes they are true friends, and sometimes they are in peace because our body will direct us into the right direction, in the right path. Sometimes it directs us into the wrong path. Therefore, these two things, they are always in conflict consistently. They won't always go in parallel and in line and together, right? So it's hard for us to control the mind and the body to directly into the right path. But in truth, there's a connection between these two things because there are things that you can control. And I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever heard of this song or the lyrics, Ebony and Ivory? Ebony and Ivory often is about the keynotes of the piano keys, right? They're black and white. And this song, the doctor, have you ever heard about it? Ebony and Ivory, yeah, they're in perfect harmony by side. I know he more. Oh Lord, why don't ye? Mind and body can be connected, and you can bring you to your goals and expectations and objectives. Sometimes mind and body may be built and take you to the wrong direction, but in sometimes the obstacles and barriers are great lessons learned in life. So I want you to be conscious and try to be vigilant and watch and see and catch these two things, how they are connected together consistently. This is so important that anyone can do. But what are the things that made me believe so? The first off is that I'm a hands-on person. I will take action and try to explore to find happiness that I think what I want to do. Normally in my daily life, it's to the love of teach. I love teaching. I love singing. But there are many often times that as a teacher, as myself, when you're behind the piano in a day, you sit in, about 5 to 8 hours a day. There are days that you may get bored of what you do. Sometimes you may find that you're not as happy as you used to be. I like to search happiness other ways and explore options. If I cannot find happiness in teaching or singing, I ask myself, can I do other things? I was lucky that I like to choose and explore, and I found exercising, and I found it in running. And in the first time that when I decided to run, the mind and the body was in conflict. It was telling that don't run, you can't do it, you will never succeed because you are good at sitting and teaching piano. But in reality, if I believed my mind, I would not have been able to succeed in running at all. Because when teaching, sitting and teaching and lecturing like this is so, you can find happiness. This is the complete happiness. This is a term I coined. Okay, everyone has it. I even invite students to run, and students said they find excuses not to run. And this is one of the reasons why I will never give up. If I'm going to run, I will feel that I am about to get out of my comfort zone and safe zone because my safe zone is what? Skiing. Once I get out of my safe zone and explore the challenges, a new challenge, the mind and the body is trying to resist me, trying to tell me, don't run, you will never do it, you will never succeed. The mind and the body were in collusion and tell me that this new exploration, this new adventure, you can't do it. This new happiness, you won't succeed. This is why the mind and the body, the relationship between them are consistent no matter what activity you endeavor or partake. I am a person that give respect the mind and body, but I believe in behavior of taking action than awaiting for the signals from the mind or from the thoughts. I don't believe the mind that much. I respect them. I respect the mind, but sometimes the mind will tell you in a different paradigm. Dr. Yang, do you think so? Anyway, I also believe that there are times there is a motivation that many people often say that these motivation, but in the end of the day, what I truly believe that it's about taking action and don't even know if possible or not. But the belief that if I believe that I can do it, I believe in the body. I believe that my body, that if the body sends out a signal, I will reconsider if this signal is it trying to lure me or try to deceive me. For instance, if I want to run about 2 to 3 kilometers, the feeling that I start painting from this and that part of the body, is this a deception from the body? Is the body trying to deceive me of pain? This is why the frame, the trap of the old happiness of the things that you're used to. Sometimes the body will resist the mind, but there's sometimes the information that is feeding through the mind, that's sending to the mind, will force the body to do and follow it for to do what other people tell you. I'm going to share your story. I had undergone an incident that I followed what other people's telling me, and the person who's going to feel pain is me. And this is why you will not fall into the trap of what the mind has said and the body has set for you that will lead you to the wrong path. Remember the term that told you consciousness. You must be someone who has conscious. I always respect the mind and the soul, right? That everything that you're about to partake, it must be on the basis and foundation of consciousness. Don't follow what others telling you to do without overseeing your capability. Without consciousness, in the end, the person who's going to be injured is you. And the injuries that may cause to the body will send signals to your mind. And sometimes the persistence and the stubbornness of receiving the wrong information, you will not give up. You will persist, right? And in the end, the end result may be actually too harmful. I have went through a disaster in life, and one of the biggest disasters in life, and that is about to have a surgery in my vocal cords. On that time, I felt so much pain because I had to remember there are two strings on my vocal cords. I can no longer sing high notes anymore, or even sing in a low tempo anymore. Not many people believe me that I had the nodules, right? I had undergone surgery to my nodules before, because that was I tried to do something that with to please someone else, that I didn't reflect upon myself, my instrument, my body, that if the body is ready or not to do it. This is why when you do something over and over again that the body is not ready to do, and you do it because to pleasing and to satisfy others people expectations is disastrous. This is the reason why my surgery in my voice nodules, I lost this career. It's not only once happened, Dr. Yang, and it has happened so often in life. And one of the biggest disasters again, after the surgery of my voice nodules, 2 or 3 years after that, I got a hemorrhage, the bleeding in the nodules of the vocal cords, and that was extremely painful as well. And it was a massive challenge in life to pass that point. This is the reason why I felt that the mind and body, there have the they all may have sometimes they deceive you to achieve the expectation of others, and sometimes you're stubborn, right? But if you have conscience, right, you will take the mind and body back to the right path. This is the relationship between the mind and the body. That's my take on it. Thank you.
Oh my Lady Gaga. Oh my Lady Gaga, that's very long mind and body, but it's very, very, meaningful. And I noticed Well, I like you're saying, don't trust your mind because it's untrustable. It's really untrustable. Sometimes I don't feel, oh, I'm not going to do it, especially for marathon sports. I'm very lazy at that point. I think I need to, ignore my mind. You have to do it. Just do the work. It's like you are the master of yourself. No matter it's your mind and your body, you have to decide. So you are the priority there, not the mind or the body. We call the body secondary, second brain actually. Second brain it is. Some ideas or mind feelings are coming from the body. Let's say if you are doing singing, keep on practicing. If you're doing running marathon, I think your mind also changed. It is like interlinked to each other. It is like in a dynamic balance. Even in one day, people in the morning, I'm very happy, and then when there's raining, and then people feel, oh, I feel so sad only because it's raining. No other reason because it's raining. This is London. London is like the rain is just unpredictable because I even asked the Siri. Okay, I even asked, how is the weather in London today? A Siri replied to me, it is very dynamic today. Oh my god, even Siri knows that, so it's very confusing. You have to really adjust. Yeah, it's really great story. I think everyone should just accept. We have the mind, we have the body, and also we have the conscious. I'm so touched by Raj's story about the surgery part. Yeah. Oh my God, that's very challenged. Cannot sing the high note is like sort of so torturing for singers because some amazing sparkling point is only at high notes, right? It's only there. So yeah, but still, after training, you have to believe. You have to believe the real work matters, and then you finally can get it again. Yeah, never give up. I think this is what I learned in the story. Do it, and then the results will come by itself. Thank you for sharing that part. So let's move on. So this is the mind and body connection. So actually, everyone is individual or special or unique. So in this case, that means everyone's singing or marathon journey might be different. So we want to hear Raj's journey, like how you begin running. If you're not running at the first day at your birth, I think, yeah. So it takes some time. At what point, what time, or what moment you start or begin the thought of, oh, I should do marathon, or why not, or yeah, what is the time you begin, how you begin, and how often. This is what I'm curious because on Facebook I noticed whenever I open Facebook, you are running. No matter it's morning, afternoon, or night, you are always running there. It's like how frequently you are doing it and how long you have been doing it in total, like 15 years, 20 years. Yeah. So I want to hear more on that part because nowadays, people stick to these short-term rewarding things. They don't do the long-term things. I think your story will really, encourage everyone to do something persistently, continuously, which will be finally benefit for themselves.
ก็สำหรับ
Well,
ไอ้เส้นทาง
for me, my journey of how I changed, even increased as running as part of my daily routine. I never ran before. Okay, I'm not a good runner, but my journey I began as a singer, as you know, right? And after singing, my next phase was to I would began to become a vocal coach, and after becoming a vocal coach, I my next phase in life as was sort of running. But in the past, the past, I felt that I knew how to run. There was just a thought, yeah, just a thought in my mind that I could run fast. In my dreams, I could dream like I ran really fast. When I was a child, there I never took part in any sports. Never learned any sports. Ever since was a child, in my teenage years, or even my higher education, or even in my music career, never was sports part of my life. After I finished high school, right? And during that time, there you can enroll into apply to different universities, right? And many people use high points, right, to get in. But for me, I have a one determination. I want to be a singer. I wanted to be a singer, so I came to Bangkok right away and enrolled to Hang University. The reason why Hang was that they had a band, RU Band. That was the name of the band, and I, registered to be a singer, and it felt good as a singer. I could still remember the that first memory as to my first show, the university band, and the song that I was able to sing is called "I Love You Just the Way You Are." Try to place me, you never down for that song. When I was able to sing, I felt so happy. I felt that this is one of the biggest achievements in my life. Why was I able to remember the lyrics? Why was I able to convey and deliver the song? Why was I so brave enough to be on stage and entertain strangers? That was the first moment of success that I didn't compete with anyone, but one of the biggest moments of achievements that I was able to sing on stage. My band was open to receiving gigs both domestically and overseas, and the songs were all on in high notes. And in sometimes that's like some injury to my vocal cords. I'm gonna tell a story behind that because I found a book and I read through this book, and got my voice back, and my voice even got better. And after that, my voice before the surgery, right? But that was my first step of becoming a professional singer. And I pursued a further education in the United States, and with a coach in Los Angeles. And in the United States, I always go to the United States every single year, do it annually, right? It's part of routine. There was one year that I can't remember what year was that, but that the place where I resided was on the Sunset Boulevard. On that road, on that boulevard, that when you wake up, everyone they closed the entire street of Los Angeles. And I walked out of my house about 7 o'clock, and the people there, and what's happening? The people there was that, oh, they're having a marathon event, and that event was called the LA Marathon. And I felt that, wow, that even I haven't partaken in run much, right? I walked around the city though, but I felt good. And that was the first step that I felt that, yeah, I want to run. I want to run seriously. And I didn't understand that with marathon, what was marathon? I didn't even know what marathon was. What running as a marathon, right? I didn't understand like how many kilometers or how many miles they had to run. I didn't know, had no idea at all. I had no idea what marathon was. That was the inspiration, my first inspiration that there should be something good inside running, right? So I came back to Thailand, and I bought shoes from the United States too. And buying shoes was like an investment that I had to run. Okay, but I didn't expect to partake in the LA Marathon. But my home had like a park, and there like a running track about 2 kilometers. So I practiced my running about 10 kilometers, sometimes 5 kilometers, practicing as how according to how I felt on that day. After that, running for quite some time, and that park that I'm telling you about, they had the 10-hour ultra marathon. Ultra marathon is defined as you run more than 42 kilometers. Anything that is exceeding 42 kilometers is called ultra marathon. That at that time, I registered, right? That you just start begin at 6 in the morning to 4 in the evening, right, in the afternoon. So I did not know what inspired me, and I ran to 6 in the morning till 4 in the afternoon. I ran about 50 kilometers, almost 60 kilometers. Yes, I was running like that. Oops.
I think we lose the camera. Yeah, let's check the camera there. Is there anything we can do? Let me see.
เออผมนะฮะผมอาจจะ
Yeah, sure.
Maybe I have the touched on a button or something. Please hold on a second.
Yes, sure, no worries.
I have no idea what happened to my camera.
Because the camera
Yes.
went to marathon and a 42 kilometers one. Very far. Okay. But you will be fine. Let's wait a moment. Yeah. No worries. Yeah, thank you for the audience. Yeah, there. Okay, now you're back. Good. All good. But the microphone
โอเค
not
เมื่อกี้
good.
กำลังเล่าเลยว่ากำลังเล่าเลย
Oh yeah, I was about to. I was well, okay. I'm gonna have a second backup camera. Maybe this camera was overheating, so I got a team of my staff will be preparing a camera just in case it turns out. Okay, so I was running about 42 kilometers, and I had no idea how I was running for 10 hours. So on that day, it reflected and taught me one thing that I can't give up. I will persevere. I won't give up. And from that day onwards, I discovered that running for each individual is that they began with 10 kilometers, 21 kilometers. 10 kilometers is called a mini marathon. 20 kilometers is called 21 kilometers. We call it a half marathon, and 42 kilometers is called a full marathon. And then exceeding 42 kilometers is an ultra marathon. I was pushing the envelope. I touched upon the ultra marathon. Then I reverted back to 10 to 40, 21 and 42 kilometers. Now, when I revisited the United States in 2017, and I registered it with the LA Marathon, and I got a medal for it too. This is one of the proudest moments. One of the proudest moments too. And that time I used about 6 to 7 years back. That was really seriously running, and this is why I was enabled me to run 42 kilometer marathon about 17 times already, or not including the 21 miles. But my next goal at the end of this year, I think I will be running about the 100-kilometer marathon, ultra marathon. About 80 kilometers. If I can get there, I'll be proud of myself. This is my journey as a runner. And as we run, there are the pain, the body's about to break down, to tear apart. You feel your shins about to tear apart. The mind is screaming to tell you to go back home. And always telling myself that the mind and body, I'm telling my mind and body, why both of them are telling me that why I'm running, why am I going to in this pain? Why am I not staying at home to sleep in? People are sleeping at 5 in the morning, but why are you running? This is why many people said, why are you running? Why do you run? Who wrote? It's hard to tell you. If you want why I do it, why the happiness you can find. Try yourself, okay? Try it yourself, and you can find a happiness about to do some, besides doing something you love, you can find another type of happiness that when I'm telling you like that, you won't understand. Yeah, I can't relate to you how you can find happiness in pain, but this is my journey as a runner.
Yes, that's great story. Thank you for sharing. That's very touching again. Very touching. I am that lazy girl. So I'm not waking up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock to do running. So of course I paid the price of not knowing the wonderful experience which Raj have. I think there must be something. Since you are continuously doing it, there must be some sort of spiritual addiction there, right? Otherwise people don't go there. And I think this is also a nice way for everyone to train their mind. If I don't want to do it, okay, let's do it, see what happens. If the mind say I don't want to do it, okay, I will do it the opposite. Let's see whether the mind will win or myself will win. We will see this game. I think this is way to train the mind, not controlled by the mind or the feelings or emotions. Otherwise, nowadays many people have depressions. I think this is kind of like they are controlling sort of by the mind. I think they'd better do marathon with Raj to Thailand or LA. That works. I think that's maybe there's like a running therapy. Maybe, yeah, why not? Try it, then we will find something different there. Okay, so as talked in more detail, so this is Raj's story about singing, how he begins there. Yeah, there's always some starting point for special moments or special behavior in your life. So actually, let's look in detail now. Let's see in singing and in marathon, there must be some similarities between them, uh, like rhythm or tempo. So if you run, like you have to do a run. Sometimes I do a run, and do foo 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 foo. So I'm trying to, even that way, even in a shorter time, I'm trying to feel not so it seems there is a tempo or rhythm for both singing and for both like doing sports, marathon running. The tempo should be matching. Are they the similar kind of feeling or similar mechanism? And how do you think of it? And how do you feel? Is it the same or it's separate? You can do it, like do it by yourself. Singing is one rhythm, the running is another one, or it's matching, or is there something in common? Something belongs only to singing, maybe, or only to doing sports. Yeah, I really want to know your like experience in that because I don't have the marathon point. Yeah, thank you.
ก็ขอบคุณมากๆครับ
Well, thank you very much for the question. For when it comes to the aspect about when singing, right? We all know that we use rhythm. That rhythm is and or tempo, or the beat, or things that you can use it interchangeably, right? But in running, we also have something like this, similar to this, but we use it as this. We use the word terminology as step, right? But every story in the human story, there are always the tempo rhythm that plays into play because there are many dimensions of the physiology. There is on the dimension on how you think. I often try to extract these two arts and sciences together and try to find a balance and harmony together to develop myself. Rhythm is important when you're singing. You know it because rhythm is also for running as well. So when you sing, right, there are slow songs, easy listening. There's ballads. There's songs that are swings. There are rock. Why when it comes to rhythm is that when you sing, it's different because running is different too. The easy run is like running, you know, it's slow, right? You don't have to compete with time, right? I was trained from a coach that I also know. They run for with the tempo run. Tempo run is when you run with that's a little bit as fast as you run in competition on a real running track, or even run slower. There are terminologies that are quite similar, but as a runner, they have methods they train themselves. This kind of stance, this time of stride, same thing with as singing. I even asked the elite runners before, right? And they say that sometimes when they run so that the rhythm and the tempo of running could be as stable as much as possible. They use a metronome, that device that goes back and forth, right? Yeah, that metronome, you set the metronome to what kind of beats and what the tempo, right? And even in the famous brands of watches, right? There are ways that you can even a metronome that you can even put the programming in your wristwatch, and you can control and manage how you run. I like that one of the coaches once told me that when you sing, you're trained to sing. Sometimes they said, I want a high pitched voice, right? Can you train me to like third bridge, like the highest note? But in the same time, you can't even sing the lower notes, the high tones notes then, because high notes is not a genius to get so. It's about training. Even the runners, they say that running, when you train hard, the objective and the goal, if you can run fast, right? That is bonus for you. But for me, as a older gentleman, I don't need to run as fast any longer. But my intention, what I want from at my age, okay, for instance, is that I want the ability to manage and sustain the tempo that I will not cause injury to my body. This is why when you do running,
The
oh,
camera?
the cameras,
Yeah.
oh,
Let's call the camera. Hi.
เป็นอะไรเป็นไหน
Yeah. No worries. It happens always to me. Yeah.
โอ
Good.
เคเนี่ยนะฮะ
Oh,
ครั
good.
บผมฮะ
Second camera.
ก็
That's
all right. The backup camera now.
yeah.
โอเคไหม
Mm.
Okay, can you see me?
ต้องขอ
Yes.
Okay, but apologies because I got a great camera, but in the end, it overheated. It was discapacitated. So I'm going to use this backup camera first. All right, and we can adjust my camera right now. Okay,
Yes.
fantastic.
Yes.
All right, the camera angle may be different, but the story is always the same. So, a singer, when you sing, you have to put yourself into tempo. What do you mean by that? When you sing in a band, you got a drummer, you got a bass, you got a guitarist, you got a pianist, or you got the equalizer guy. It depends, right? Everyone has all the notes that are different that have to play. But one thing that everybody must go in the same direction is all the tempo and rhythm. So I mean, say what is faster or slower will be out of sync. So if you play in a band, the end to the beginning of the song to the end of the song, the singer must understand this tempo and rhythm well as running. Running is a little bit harder, a little bit more challenging than singing. You as a runner, you must be able to control your body in the same tempo as much as you can. Like I said, I'm not an expert in running, but this is what I know. One thing that I know that when you throw your arms up and down, it enables you can control your step and your strides. So as you can see, that people that run, they often throw their arms all over the place. When you do that, the tempo is not right. Some people, when they run, they twist their entire body. Some even twist their heads as well. This is why tempo is so vital and important that when you run, not only for only singing only, there are times that when you change the mode of the tempo or in a song, right? There's one format to another format. Running is the same thing too, because running there's same to change your tempo from to and transform to another tempo, right? One of the greatest experiences that I had was when you are in front in competing, even before the run starts, you can hear the crowd cheering around you. And once they announce and they blow the whistle, they'll begin running. The crowds will go wild. You will lose your tempo, right? And then you will in the mass confusion, right? And you will feel it because you are in the emotions are high. That is when you are losing your right tempo. And in the end, it may be causing that your run to be failed because you may be running out of energy because you can't control the tempo. This is why the interrelationship of changing tempo from one to another in music is the same, in running is have it too. But for me, I personally feel that they are interrelated no matter what.
Mm. Very good to know. Actually,
โอ้
now
โหมันสิ่งที่ดีนะว่า
trying to
การ
make
แข่ง
the
ขั
right
นนะครับ
answer
เออ
there.
คือถ้าเกิดเราเดินไปเรา
Yeah, it seems right. It seems right. Right now, I understand why people are doing this. Actually, yes. My own experience when what I was in the PE lesson in my high school, yes, sometimes you cannot, do this, and arms not moving. Actually, sort of, I cannot even running. It is there, so it's not only the legs because we think about the running. It's only the legs, right? We don't need the arms to run, but actually the whole body should be catch up in the right tempo. And this is people always saying like singing is a sport. It is. If you want to sing better, you have to have a nice body setup. Otherwise, oh yeah, like this week, and you are not able to sing well. You don't have the strength to belt into the high notes. Okay, sorry. Yeah. So you don't have that belting ability. This high potential or these things. This all depends on the body. It is indeed. That's very nice story too. Yes, actually, it's not only for sports. It's also for everything in daily life. I think keep the tempo in more dimensions, not only in one dimension. Because what we are living in this world is we are not only living in this room. We are living connected with the whole world. Adjust your tempo with even all the informations in the internet. You don't need to check all the information in the internet because the information is too much in the internet. You can pick up some, get your tempo, you know where to post, what time you want to post something. Yeah, but don't governed or controlled by the internet. It is also reference for that point. So in singing, I know because I also like singing. Yeah, I like singing a lot. So in singing, we know there are like checking points, which we call it bridges. I think everyone just, oh my god, scared of that bridges. So usually we have like 4 bridges around for the vocal, especially our first, usually the first for female, the second for male is G4. Yeah, whenever I mention G4, people will go, oh my god, can I make it? Can I make it? Yeah. But is there any that kind of G4 bridge in marathon also? In my own experience, I figure out there's some point or time I am doing the long running, I want to really give up and tired. Okay, shit, I don't want to do it. I want to go for sleep. And then it seems after a while, it is better. So I can still run. But again, it appears at some checking point again. So what do you think of this phenomenon? Like, can we smooth out even those bridges and finally make the whole journey? Because we cannot stop. Not only in running, singing, even in relationships or marriages, something like that. There are some checking points always, right? What should I do with that? Yeah, thank you.
โอ้ผมชอบคำถามนี้หัว
Oh,
ข้อ
I like this question a lot. That Dr. Yang, that smoothing out the bridge, right, and never surrender. Right? It's when you say bridge, you can translate directly is bridge. Okay, it's a bridge that crosses from one point to another. It connects one point to another point, and in the middle is the bridge that connects 2 points. Therefore, every human being often are confused of the location of this bridge, because this bridge it enables us people are get confused. How are you going to manage it in life? The point of change can occur anytime. You can relate it as a bridge. You can say it's a bridge from the points of change, child to an adolescence, and now to an adult to career have to marriage, from marriage to have children. We call it a bridge or inflection points or changing points. Singing, there's bridges, you know it, right? We often use the word bridge, right? Because there are interconnections of the voice. Because if you're not careful, your singing, well, you can go into problems, definitely. Let me show you a story. There was one of these gigs in one of the shows. There's a song by the Platters that, in reality, that I was able to do the song before. I would sing the song for quite some time. There was once in the show that in one of these nightclubs, and there were a big audience, and the introduction song, my conscience wasn't there. And I don't know what my mind was drifted away somewhere. I didn't hear the introduction. When I wasn't able to hear the introduction, what I came out of my mouth was disaster. I'm gonna play this song for you. Oh my you.
มันจะต้องเป็นแบบนี้แต่
Yeah,
รู้ไหม
that's how the song should go. How it came out. Bum, 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 dun, 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 dun. Only you. Oh, the voice. I lost everything was gone. It was disastrous because of this song, because the bridge or the connection was is the hardest to do for the male voice. Do you believe it? That the entire song was out of tune. It was out of tune. That was my conscious. I had no idea where was the bridge. This is why when it enables me that I always teach my students that the bridge when you sing is so important. And let's see that in the marathon, in the running track, is there a bridge? Absolutely. That you can see with your naked eye. But in singing, you can't see the bridge, right? It's about the training that the physiology, the correct physiology. Running, they have a bridge that you can see, and you actually call as a bridge. For me, I have singing and running. I combine these two and blend it together. There are times that when you run 10 kilometers, I often compare it to bridge one, singing. It's not hard because if you train well, you know what to expect. It enables me to be able to run 10 kilometers, and running is a show that I'm able to run and pass this bridge. It's called a mini marathon in kilometers. Easy. 21 kilometers. I often compare it that this job, I will be meeting the second bridge. Compared to singing, last thing, the song, the lyrics will be a little higher. And I'm playing the piano for you here. You're lovely. The voice is so high, right? It's hitting the second bridge. Is she lovely on the second bridge? It's so high. I would like to compare this to that 21-kilometer run is the second bridge for me. And if I am going to run for a marathon for 42 kilometer, oh my God, that is my third bridge. And believe it or not, I may be running to meet with the third bridge and have to encounter the third bridge many times. And you encounter the third bridge so oftentimes, I may actually retire from the running. So if you train well, and no matter what their challenges proposed to me, giving up is not an option. It's a comparison of a singer that knows how to sing and who can run well, like me. So this is why I can compare it in both. But in reality, in running, in any kind of stage or any competition, there are bridges that are there right in front of you that you can see, and that they will. The organizer will tell that 42 kilometer, there will be a bridge that the hardest, the highest hill. That's going to be the highest challenge. When I ran in Fuji, the Fuji in Japan, there is the a hill at 22 kilometers, right? I call it the fourth bridge because it's so hard to overcome. That I had to get all my conscience together. That I have to decide to put all my energy or my strength into it. If I overexert myself, it means that I have another 20 kilometers that I'll be responsible left to run. So in fourth bridge, I will not give up, but I have to control my conscience so that I will succeed in this competition and end this run. So like I tell you, it's interconnected. In marathon, there's a bridge. The mind and the body is interconnected when it comes to bridge. Thank you.
Yes, so this is much better as what I'm expecting. I was thinking the 42-kilometer marathon is 10 bridges for me. So it's like never go there. So actually, so it's not that much. So it's only fours. Okay, I can make it. So now I have more confidence in the marathon. Good. So let's move on. They're very touching, like vivid sharing because Roger knows both fields very well, and which we can always learn actually from each other. I mean, from music, singing can learn from sports. Sports can learn something from music. For example, enjoy the beauty of running because singing is beautiful, right? And running or marathon maybe also like an artwork. Yeah, why not enjoy it? I think it's also like, it's artistry there. It's very beautiful. Let's say beautiful marathon. After today, I suggest every audience for today or later on the live streaming or recording, audience, you guys try at least one time with marathon. And I let's meet. Once you try it, never stop, right? There's a saying. I think you will do it. But at least I will do it. I will run near the Time River in London. I'm going to do it because tomorrow is the weekend. I'm going to do it. Wait for me. See whether I'm still alive after tomorrow's running. Okay, let's move on for the topics. So as nowadays, foods are very easily to get, we are not hungry. We are not hungry at all. Usually we are too full, we are too full. It seems people, they are frequently, exposed to different food. But by the way, I really like Thai food. Oh, Thai food is amazing. It's chili, rice noodle soup. Okay, sorry, forgive me. But, I really like Thai food because I really like chili a lot, especially those small green and red chili, with this size. Oh, it's so, you eat it raw. It's so good. I will visit Raj after the pandemic is stable for sure. I really like the food there. So, but this is for the food. But put food away. Now we are talking about are we hungry? I mean, spiritually. I see a lot of people. I'm in the academic field. I know many, great people here, but it seems they don't understand why they do this great work. They are hungry spiritually. Nowadays, even I heard a lot of stories from very, high level universities, institute. They just go suicide because they don't know what's their meaning in life. They're just like repeating doing the work, although the work itself are great, but still they don't understand why they do it. Then they give up and go for suicide level. So that means people are really hungry spiritually. So I think it is very crucial to balance the mind and body. Singing and the marathon are two behaviors we are talking about. So because in that way you can train your mind and body connections. So I would highly recommend everyone to pay attention to the mind and body, not only to ourselves but also to our family, kids, parents. So there might be some students, including some students, especially because I also work with some of the teenagers. They are very, in the critical period of shaping their value towards the world, towards the culture, towards, everything, even to the internet. So those young students will always get lost. Plus this voice, especially the boys, at their voice changing, crucial period. Actually, it's not only voice changing, their body changing, their mind is also changing. So this is a very crucial period. So I want to ask, is there any way we can help the teenagers to set up the personality more confident, to accept the mind and body change and train into a better balancer? So is there any story which Raj can share with us? Because I know you work with a lot of teenagers, like how to help them. That's always my concern. Yeah, because the kids are the future. Yes, thank you. Yeah.
ก็จริงๆแล้วเนี่ย
in reality is that we give importance to health, your mental health and your physical health, your bodily health at the same time. There are times that let me share a story that is that when you're about to give up, when you feel demotivated, when you have anxiety, when you have the lowest point of your soul, or what can ever happen that when anything that will bring negativity to yourself and to impact you negatively, I will address
หลายๆคนอาจจะบอกว่าทำได้อย่างไรหลาย
so
ๆครั้ง
what
ที่
I get in my running gear is away, wear my running gear. That there were times to me be raining, and I'm ready dressed for a run, and I feel that you know what, it's not going to run that heavy, right? And I'll go out and run, and it will. It's like a treatment. It's for time like catharsis, for that I won't be dwelling in the problem over and over in that vicious cycle. Let me tell you a story. Is that when you take care of your mind, the mind is fast. It's the speed of light. Your body looks strong, but when your mind and soul is in the darkest points, you will feel you won't have energy. There was a time in my life that I felt demotivated, and I do not because I found a disaster in the career, right? Right? I do not want to do it any longer, right? The way of how I cure myself, that I do not begin with, I do not take others more important than myself. You should be the center of all your actions, and you are already good in yourself. So I tell my students, the young students, that I give this story to them. I tell the story that from a case from this a story from this story to this. I love a quote from Voltaire, the philosophy: "Better is the enemy of good." Because let me expand on that quote: "Better is the enemy of good." Students will always seek something better, and they don't even know that they already have something good in themselves. They will always seek for something better, this and that. I want to be this. I don't want to be that. Right? They want to be that, but they haven't reflected upon themselves that they're already good. This is why I share cases from this story from this student and tell this story from this student to another student, doing this back and forth from different perspectives. The students, the youngsters, and the adolescents will see, try to relate. Is it similar to themselves? It's probably one of the best ways, the methodologies I use, especially kids, especially boys. That when the adolescents, the voice changes, the voice cracks up, right? So there are times that students will bring the works and share with me. They just want words of compliments and praise. That's all they want. And your job is simple as a teacher. Just find praises. Don't find things to criticize or give them feedback yet. Just praise them, because your job is to just give words of encouragement. Ask them, like, coach them. Like, are you satisfied? Right? Ask them to have them speak up, right? And the ways to stop, there are ways or solutions that you can do. This is the methodology that I use with younger students.
Oh, indeed. I because I know I'm in London and in Oxford University, they opened a new like institute called the Positive Psychology Institute. I think this part belongs to their field. So even nowadays, we have the praise coach, not vocal coach. There's like in psychology field, there's the praise coach, and you go for the praise coach. The praise coach, of course, the main job is praising, encouraging you. Yeah, it is. So as we can know, Roger's really a great teacher. Not only solve the problem with the child's voice, but sometimes, as we all know, maybe it's not the voice. They're already very good. They're just a little bit shy, a little bit inconfident. We need to encourage them. You're right. As like vocal coach, singing teacher, music teachers, we are sort of also psychology therapy for the students too. You have that's why they come to the lesson. They're not coming here and say, "Oh, you're too bad. You're far away from the singing." No, never say that to a kids. Never say that, kids. Although we know technically there may be some temporary issues, but we will figuring out later. But what matters at the moment, how the students feel or how all the human beings feel, that matters. So actually it's not only for singing, it's for everyday life. So thank you for the wonderful sharing. We really learned a lot. And I guess mind and body connections and balance is a lifelong journey. We are all on the way, and there's no ending point. If you're in the ending point, you know what I mean. No, there's no ending point, and don't be there. Yeah. So we are all in the journey to adjust our dynamics. And the good thing is it is fair to everyone. So no worry, you are not good. No, you're good enough because everyone is actually at the same level. So let's work on it and hope see everyone at a better balance point in the future. So at the last, let's see if there's any questions from our audience today. You can type in your questions, or yeah, if there's questions. Yeah, now it's the free time. The formal part has been done. Now it's more relaxed. Thank you, Roger. It's really, really great work. I really learned. I will run. I promise you. I will run in Time River tomorrow. Yeah. Yeah. Good. Okay. I will run. Yeah. Good. Okay. See. Let's see if there's
in the
no
more
questions. Okay. Let's see. Is there anything, Roger, you want to come up, summarize a bit? Yes. Let's wait for the
เอ่
audience.
อมีอย่างมีอยู่อย่างห
Well,
นึ่ง
one
นะค
thing
รับ
that I want to leave, to take away from this discussion is that when you adjust the harmony or balance, the body and the mind, that every human should do. If you're a runner or you're a marathon runner or you're a singer, one thing that I want to leave to take away is that for students, for instance, is that the methodology that we teach about our teenagers or the youth that they should do is that you should be show as an example. Hands-on, do it. If you're going to tell your students, if you're a coach or a teacher, if you're telling your students that you should practice vocalization by with your mouth, the shape of your mouth, and the exercise, and all these things, right? And you better your voice. Ask yourself, as a teacher, are you doing it? Are you doing it? If if you're a coach that you're not doing it, or you're practicing, and you're telling your students that you have to do this or practice like this every single day, and your voice is going to get better, reflect upon yourself. Have you, as a teacher, have you start doing it yet? A coach that my running coach, when they tell me how to coach, they lead by example. They're running next beside me. So I leave you with this: no matter your mind or your body, whatever condition it may be, find your balance, your inner peace. Thank you.
Yes. That's very, very important. Yeah. I'm so glad even Raj is in the journey of balancing him. Of course, I will be for sure in my balance journey, for sure. So no worries. This is why all the human beings we can share with each other's feeling. And that's also why we want to invite Raj and the more speakers to share their wonderful experience. Because at some point we may lost our, lost our confidence, lost in many ways. But it is great to listen to the great thinkers and speakers to share with their wonderful experience, so we can all continue growing up. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you very much, and thank you for our Woody translator there. Thank you, Air. Thank you for all the colleagues, Miranda from MS Vocal. Thank you for all the audience to share with us this great time. Let's see each other. Okay, finally we see the man behind the camera there. Woody is there. Finally, the man behind the camera is important. Yeah, and also Air there. Thank you for helping, prepare the webinar. There are a lot of works, testings, and thank you for your great help in translating, smooth out the whole bridges in preparing a TEDx. There are also bridges in preparing the thing. Yeah. Thank you very much. สวัสดีค่ะขอบคุณใครขอบคุณค่ะ is for men. ขอบคุณค่ะขอบคุณใคร Okay, anyway, just forgive me because I should learn sometime. I know. Okay. สวัสดีค่ะขอบคุณใคร Thank you from London there.
Good night.
Thank you from the air.
Good night.
Thank you very
Good
much.
night.
Everyone
Thank you very
run.
much, Sophia.
Yeah, Raj,
Thank you very
tell
much
us.
for your
We're all
time.
running. Begin
Tomorrow.
running.
Tomorrow run. Yeah.
Tomorrow run. I promise
forget,
you.
Yang,
and
Dr. Yang,
I'll
run
be
tomorrow,
there. Okay. Tomorrow I will run. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much. And good night, everyone there in Thailand.
Good night.
Mine is still afternoon, but good night. Thank you for staying late. Thank you. See you next time. You will see the link of our live streaming today. I will share to Raj so you guys can see the recordings later. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, good night.
Bye bye. Thank you very much. Bye. Thank you.
Good night.
Bye bye. Bye bye.